everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making this wonderful fairy tunic. This is part of my Halloween costume. I am going to be Zelda and Nate is going to be Link. So if you've been following us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube here, you'll see we've been crocheting a lot of the costume pieces, and this is one of the last pieces that I have to make for the big reveal. This is the fairy tunic that's on my website. It's like a tank top shirt kind of thing that comes up here. So you can wear a shirt underneath this or wear it as like a swimsuit cover up. I don't care. You can wear whatever you want. So I'll get into the supplies and then I'll get into the frequently asked questions if you want to make this smaller or bigger. And then we'll get into making this fabulous piece. So big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn today. This is a size 4 medium yarn and I'm using Red Heart Soft. Okay, I used 2.5 balls of this yarn, and I actually did not calculate the exact amount here. Let me grab my calculator out real quick. So there's 256 yards, and I times that by 2, and that's 512. 512 plus 128. 512 plus 128. I'm doing it like right here. So you're going to need 640 yards of yarn for this. I will have that in the blog. Sorry I didn't calculate that beforehand, but that's how much yarn you're going to need for this main color here. My main color is called Berry, so you can get the same color as me. I absolutely love this yarn. This yarn is very similar, actually. I've used Caron Simply Soft before. This one is a little bit softer, and it's really nice than that. So, I mean, personal preference there, but yeah, this is a really nice soft yarn from Red Heart. I think this is the first time I'm using this too. Also for the white little crisscross stitches, I'm using Red Heart Super Saver in white. You don't need a whole lot, just scraps of that if you are going to add that detail, but you do not have to add that detail if you don't want to. So big thank you to Red Heart for providing this yarn today. Also, you're going to need a K size hook, which is 6.5 millimeters. This super fancy hook I got from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. This is a hand-carved ergonomic crocheted handled hook, so you can, you know, for those of you who crochet like this with like a pen, holding that pen, or for those of you who crochet like me, you can hold your hook like this. So it's really nice to, you know, hook, or you can hold it like this, whichever way. I mean, this is a really nice hook though, you guys. Seriously, holidays are right around the corner and you can get a whole set of these. They have international shipping, so, and we have a wedding to pay for next year. So get your hooks, you guys, so that we can pay for this wedding. Also, you're going to need a scissors, a yarn needle, and a measure tape. This is a cute little measure tape I got from Amazon. You can get the same one. I'll put a link in the description for all of you sheep lovers out there. So make sure you check out those links in the description because you can get the hooks, the yarn, this measure tape here. Speaking of measures, let's measure this piece. So mine is going to fit a medium person, a size of you who wears a medium women's size. Okay, I'm a medium woman size. So across here, the one I'm demonstrating will be about a 40 chest. Okay, about a 40 chest. That's because I'm wearing something underneath it, so I wanted there to be a little bit of extra room in there. So that's the width of the chest part here. The length of this, wow, this is really long here. 31 inches. Now this is going all the way down to the back here. 31 inches in centimeters is 78, almost 79 centimeters, okay? So that's how long this is. This is going down the back of you, and then you can obviously see in the pictures how this is going to fit you. And then the straps are, you can make them as long as you want, okay? So they're about 12 inches long, or 6 inches down, okay? 6 inches from here to here, but 12 inches long there, okay? So that's how the straps are. But for sizing, now in this video tutorial, you'll have to watch the whole video tutorial to see which piece you have to make what, because you can increase this or decrease this to whatever size you want it to be. We are making 3 big pieces. This back piece is 1, then this piece, and then each of these 2 pieces. So it's you know, 5 pieces total here, but I'll show you the back side. Okay, and what we're doing here is actually working upside down. So we're working from the top down, and we are going to be working just this much here, and you can chain as many as you want. So if you're a smaller person, you don't have to chain this whole thing. You can chain just half of this and then make it as long as you need to until you want to do the decrease part, and you can even stop right here and do the decrease sooner. So you can hop around in this video and make this piece your size and your style just by doing a few different changes on your piece. And then what we do is we sew up these seams, and you can see that in the video tutorial. You can fast forward this and see what we do later on. And then this piece as well, we are working this piece from the bottom up this time. Okay, so we're gonna go from here all the way up to increase to the point where that's half of your front chest area. So if your front chest is only to like here, half of it here, then you can just go on to making these top rows, because we're not increasing anymore on this part here. We are just going straight up then. So you can increase to whatever you need to do. It's totally up to you. So really versatile pattern for all sizes. It's just a few different changes you'll have to do, but this doesn't have any specific stitch counts or anything. You can chain or start with whatever type of or amount of stitches you want, so it's very easy. So those are all of the questions I get, about sizing and if you can make it a different size. But before we begin, I do have to mention there are links in the description of this video. Like I said, links to all of these products, links to the written pattern for this. It's free on my website, but you can get the ad-free version on my Etsy shop. I know my website, it generates, revenue for us, so that's why I put a bunch of ads in there. But if you want it ad-free, you can just go hop on over to my Etsy shop and get any of the patterns that I offer for a small amount, and then you can have that forever as a PDF download. So pretty sweet. So make sure you check that out and support YARNutopia. You can always donate to us so we can continue this journey of making all these crochet projects. Big thank you to Red Heart. Big thank you to my dad. Big thank you to you for watching. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. All right, now I'm done talking. Let's get started and make this super cool tunic. Let's start out with a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold this down over your long end and pull your long end through, pull tight, insert your hook, and we can start. So what we want to do is start off with a foundation chain of your measurement of the largest part of your back measurement. I know it's similar to like where your waist is from, if you want to measure like a t-shirt, from seam to seam across your back. You can measure your shoulders as well, so across from one shoulder to the other shoulder, measure that, and that is how long your foundation chain should be. So it's not in a multiple of anything, just yarn over and pull through. So my measurement for the largest part of my back, which is like a little bit under my armpits, that's about 18 inches across. Okay, so I'm going to chain something that's 18. I'm actually going to chain 52. So if you want to, you can chain an even number. If you want to continue with the same exact pattern as me, you can chain any even number. I'm going to chain 52, and I'm not going to make you watch me chain 52. Just yarn over and pull through, and that's a chain. Okay, so I'm going to chain 52, and I will meet you up for row 1. Alright, so I chained 52 here. This is what my chain looks like. And if you want to, you can lay it out, just like that, and measure it to make sure that it is approximately the measurement of your back. And stretch it a little bit. The soft yarn is quite stretchy, so it's actually going to be a little bit bigger, but we want it to, obviously stretch a little bit, so it's a little bigger. But no big deal. It'll have a little room for growth in there and whatever, comfort. So mine is about 18.5 inches at 52 chains. So now we can go on to row 1. We're going to yarn over, okay? We're going to go into the 4th chain from the hook. So count 1, this chain right here, 2, 3, and 4. Right in this chain here, we are going to double crochet. So insert your hook in there, and what I like to do is turn the chain toward me, kind of like this, and work in these back ridges of the chain. Okay, so I'm going to yarn over, go into the 4th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into there. Okay. then yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook. Okay, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops on your hook. Okay, that's a double crochet. Now this stitch right here, it looks like a chain up 3 stitch actually. 1, 2, and 3 there. That is considered a stitch. So in the end of this row, we will have 50 stitches across. So yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And just double crochet into each chain across. And like I said, with that chain up 3 in the beginning there, we will have 50 double crochet stitches across. And I'm just going to double crochet across here, and then I'll meet you up for row 2. Alright, just finishing row 1 here. So like I said, 50 double crochets at the end of row 1. So this is what it should look like, just one long thing. And again, if you want to measure it, put it up to your back, make sure that it fits across your back. If you're wearing a t-shirt, you can see from seam to seam on you, and if it matches around you kind of like this, about halfway under your armpits, that should be good. Anyway, going on to row 2, we are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn the work around, okay? And we are going to be working in between these stitches. We're not going to be working into the stitches themselves, we're going to work in between. However, this first stitch is worked into this stitch. It looks like it's worked into this stitch. This chain up 3 is considered a double crochet. So we are not going to work in this first space here. We're going to hop to this next one and split these two across apart here, and we are going to yarn over and go in between those posts, and then yarn over and pull through. Okay, just like that. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now if you want to work into the stitch, you can, but we're just going to work across here in between the posts. So yarn over, go in between these next 2 posts, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, yarn over, go in between these next 2, and just double crochet. And again, we're just double crocheting across now. So I will do that, and I'll meet you up at the end of this row. I just want to give you some tips on how to know how many stitches you have each row and make sure that you have enough for each row, because it can get confusing on where to put your last stitch. So I'll meet you up at the end of row 2. Alright, finishing your row, you want to still work in between these 2 posts. So there's this chain up 3 here. We're going to work a double crochet in there, in between the posts, and into this chain up 3. So yarn over, go into the chain up 3, stitch right there, front loop, back loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I would advise you to count your stitches at this point to make sure you still have the 50 stitches, or however many you had for row 1. You should have the same amount of stitches as row 1. And if you have one more, just remove that stitch and just go on to the next row with me. If you have not one less, just put 2 stitches in that last stitch, but you should not, so you might have to take your work apart and recount. So let's chain up 3, turn the work around, and now repeat row 2. So skip this first space right here and work a double crochet in between these stitches here. So yarn over, go in between, and make your double crochet. Just like that. And just make sure then every row you count, you have your 50 stitches, or however many stitches you have for your measurement. Now we're just going to repeat row 2 for however long you need to. I am going to make my piece 20 inches because we are going to actually start to decrease this at the very end to make a pointed back, pointed bottom of the back. So we are working from the top down on this piece, so we're going to turn this upside down like this, and this is going to be the top where your neck is, where your shoulders are going to be up here. And then we're working our way down the piece, and we are going to make this, I'm going to make mine about 20 inches long. Okay, that will cover my whole back. And then when I get to the 20-inch mark, so I'm going to do repeat row 2 until it's this long. Once it's this long, then we are going to meet up and I'm going to show you how to do the decrease to make a pointed bottom. So just continue on working row 2, just exactly how I showed you beginning to end. And then I'll meet you up and I'll let you know how many rows exactly that is. I don't exactly know at this second, but I will in the next clip. So good luck, and I'll meet you up when I finish this to be 20 inches. Alright, welcome back. I'm just finishing up row 37, but I am running out of yarn here, so I have to add a new yarn ball, and I just wanted to show you kind of how to do that. So when you're running out of yarn, or if you're changing color or something, you want to start out by making a double crochet. So yarn over, go in between the stitches, because we're working in between the stitches, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops with the same yarn. But now that you're running out, we want to add a new ball of yarn. So hook on our new ball of yarn and pull that through those last 2 loops on your hook to finish off that stitch. Then pull your yarns all tight together, just like that, and you've finished your double crochet there. Now I'm just going to finish this row 37. Now row 37 has matched up to my 20 inches, but you can make yours as long or short as you want, and you can see in the photos where exactly this is going to lie on your body. I don't know if I clarified earlier, I don't remember if I clarified that, where this is going to lie on your body, so I just want to show you once I finish this row exactly where it's going to be. And I know I said to measure under your armpits, because that is where it's going to actually be, is on your back, right under your armpits here. So let me finish this row. Okay, that was row 37. I'm going to pull up this loop here, and this is the bottom half. So this is what your work should look like, just a big square or rectangular piece like this. This is the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is just flip this over, and this is the top. And if you notice here, this is straight across here, your armpit, it's going to be your left armpit here and your right armpit here, and it's going to wrap around you on your back. Okay, that's how this is going to lie on you, because we're going to make straps later that are going to be sewn to here and here. Okay, up. It's just going to be like a spaghetti strap style. So now what we're going to do at the bottom here, we are going to come in by decreasing and making a point in the back here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So come back up here. And what we're going to do now is, this is our repeat. Row 38 is going to be one of our repeat rows. So here we go. We're going to chain up 2, 1 and 2. And that's going to count as part of our first stitch. So let's turn our work around. Okay, so that's going to count as part of our first stitch. What we're going to do now is double crochet into the second space right here, okay, just like we were doing in every row, not the first space, but the next space. So yarn over, go into this next space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now that's considered a double crochet 2 together stitch, because that chain up 2 is going to be part of this double crochet, and it's looking like a 2 stitch into 1. Okay, and when we come back through to the next row, I'll show you what I mean, because we're not going to be actually working in that chain up 2. We're just going to be working into this stitch right here. So that's a beginning double crochet 2 together stitch. Now in these next 2 spaces here, this space and this space, we are going to double crochet those 2 together. So yarn over, go into the next space, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, but hold those 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over again and go into the next space right here, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So now we have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops, and that is a regular double crochet 2 together stitch, or a double crochet decrease. Now what we're going to do is just put a regular double crochet in each space until 3 spaces remain. 3. So I will show you exactly what I mean when I get to the very end of this row. Just double crochet in each space until 3 spaces remain. I'll meet you up at the end of row 38. Alright, so you can see I have 3 spaces left, 1, 2, and 3. So what we're going to do is double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, go into this next free space, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then yarn over, go into the next free space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops, and there's a double crochet 2 together. Now the last stitch we are going to double crochet 2 together again, but this one's a little different. So yarn over, go into this last space here, then yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then yarn over and go into this chain up 3 stitch right here, okay, and go into there, front and back loop, there we go, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And there's your double crochet 2 together stitch. So on row 38 you will have 46 stitches. Okay, so if you need to count back, you'll have 4 less than your previous row. Okay, so you should have 46 stitches across row 38. Going on to row 39, we are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, okay, and we're going to turn our work around, and basically like how we worked rows 3 through 37, we're just going to double crochet across here, but in these spaces. So you can see this double crochet 2 together stitch, and then this double crochet 2 together stitch. We're going to work between, or actually we're going to skip that part because this chain of 3 is counted as that stitch. So we're going to skip over this double crochet 2 together over here and work in between this double crochet 2 together stitch and this regular double crochet, and we're going to double crochet in there. Okay, and then we're just going to double crochet in each space all the way across here. And when I'm finishing row 39, I will meet you up. I'll show you how to finish row 39. We're just double crocheting across, so you'll have the same amount of stitches, 46 stitches. But I'll meet you up when we finish this row, and we'll go on to row 40. Alright, just finishing row 39 here, just double crocheting across. You can see this double crochet 2 together stitch. We're going to go to in between these 2 here. And then to finish this row, we are going to double crochet into this last stitch. Now if you decide you want to work in between these, in between the decrease, you can, or you can work right into this last double crochet stitch. I just recommend not working into the chain up 2, okay? So work either in the double crochet stitch or inside of the double crochet 2 together stitch. It's up to you. I'm going to work into the stitch itself. So you should, again, still have the 46 stitches on row 39. Now what I need you to do, I'm going to let you go, and we are going to just repeat rows 38 and 39 11 more times. Okay, so that will get us to have 2 stitches left. Okay, and we are going to just repeat what we did for this section here. So chain up 2, don't work in this first space here, just double crochet into the next space, and that counts as our first double crochet 2 together. So we're just repeating row 38 for row 40. Okay, then repeat row 39 for row 41, and so on and so forth until you have 2 stitches left. When I finish row 61, that will be when I have 2 stitches left. Well, row 60 is when we have 2 stitches left, and then we still have to double crochet cross for row 61. So I'm going to meet you up and just repeat rows 38 and 39 until you have 2 stitches left. Then when I finish row 61, I'll meet you up and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so I ended up just finishing row 59 here. I have 6 stitches across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And now going on to row 60, I know I said 2 stitches left. I have 6 here. What I'm going to do is chain up 2, okay, turn the work around. Row 60, we are going to do what we did. Instead of working in this first space here, we are going to double crochet in the next space, okay? So that chain up 2 and that first double crochet count as a double crochet 2 together. Then we're going to double crochet these next 2 together, these next 2 spaces, okay, just like that. And then the last space, we are going to double crochet that and the last stitch together, okay, just like I showed you to end the decrease rows. Just like that. So you should actually have 3 stitches, okay, 3 decrease stitches, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to chain up 2, 1 and 2, turn the work around. Okay, I'm just going to work into these stitches, or I guess you could work in between them, but that's up to you. What I'm going to do is yarn over, skip this first space here, go into this space right here, okay, between these 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2, okay? It's kind of like a double crochet 2 together stitch. Don't worry if that looks a little weird, we are going to crochet around this piece later. We are going to chain 1 for now and cut this yarn, and then pull that all the way through and pull it tight. And the back of your piece is finished so far, partially. So you can see that the point there will come down the back, okay? We will clean up these edges, so don't worry about that at all. These will all be cleaned up later. And then these are our seamed sides here. So now let's grab some more yarn and start making the front pieces. Alright, for the front pieces, we are going to start out with a slip knot. So I showed you how to do that in the beginning of this video here, just like that. Insert your hook. And to start this front piece, we're going to do the right side piece and the left side piece, but they're both exactly the same, so you'll have to make 2, so I'm just going to show you 1. So what we're going to do now is chain 4. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the 4th chain from the hook, we're going to put 2 double crochets. So the loop on the hook doesn't count, so count 1, 2, 3, 4. This first chain way over here, we're going to yarn over and go into that chain, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and 1 more in there. Yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now on row 1, it should look like there's 3 stitches because this chain up 3 right here counts as a stitch. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Going on to row 2, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and that counts as our first stitch of row 2. Let's turn our work around, and now we're going to be working in between these stitches, just like we did for the back side of this piece. We're going to put 1 double crochet in this first gap here. So yarn over, go in between the posts, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. In this last space right here, we're going to put 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and 1 more in there as well. So on row 2, you should have 4 stitches because this chain of 3 counts as a stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's go on to row 3. Let's chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn the work around. And now row 3 is our repeat. We are going to put 1 double crochet in this gap here. So yarn over, go into this gap, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're just going to put 1 double crochet in each gap till the very last space here. So in this gap here, put 1 double crochet. And now when you get to the very last gap right here, we're going to put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. So row 3 should have 5 stitches because that chain up 3 counts as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And that's our repeat. So chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work around and repeat row 3. Put 1 double crochet in this first gap, in this first space here between the posts. 1 double crochet in each space between the posts until there is 1 space left. Okay, so in each one of those two there. In the last space of every row, we're going to be putting 2 double crochets, just like this. And every row, every increased row will increase by 1 stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches for row 4. Okay, so we're doing this increase now until we have 30 stitches or half of your front chest. So I'll do this row here real quick and show you. We're just going to put 1 double crochet in this first gap and then 1 double crochet in each gap until there is 1 gap left. Okay, do not forget to chain up 3 in the beginning. Okay, so I'm on my last gap right here, put 2 double crochets in there, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up here. I'm going to explain something. Just repeat this. I'm going to repeat it until I have 30 stitches across. Okay, you want to increase like a triangular shape here. Now, what we need to do is do your measurement. You want to measure your chest across your front chest from under your armpit across your chest to the other armpit, the largest part of your chest, okay? And then take half of that measurement, and that's what how wide you want yours. You want to do this increase to that width, okay? So mine is going to be, let me see if I wrote this down here. Mine is going to be 11 inches. From under one armpit down out to the other armpit across the front of my chest is about 21, 22 inches. And if you want a little extra give in there, you can add a ½ inch. And then take half of that, so say 22 inches, okay? 22 inches across here. Mine, then this piece right here at the top, I want to increase my rows till this line right here is 11 inches across, okay? So I have one made I can show you over here. So this is what, right, don't look at this top part here, but we increase from bottom here. We're at this point I just showed you up till here, but we're going to increase all the way up till about right here, and across this way is 11 inches, okay? I'm going to meet you back up when I get to this point, because then what I'll show you how to do the top part of this to make it as long as you need it to be. So just increase, making your increase exactly, just repeating row 3 of that section there, and then I'll meet you up when I have that piece complete. Alright, I'm just finishing row 28 here. This is where I have my 30 stitches across. So like I showed you earlier, this is what your piece should look like. It's just like a big triangle piece, okay? So if your piece is, you know, if your half of your chest measurement is, say you're making this for a child and it's only like half of the front of your chest is just like this much, you can end here and then go on to the next step with me. Or if you have a larger way to go, half of the front of your chest measurement. So I found my measure tape, by the way. It was under a pile of yarn, believe it or not. But we're gonna measure this across here just to make sure. And you know, I want mine to be a little stretchy here. There we go. So it's about 11 inches at this point, as you can see. So that is going to cover my left half. And I hope this makes sense. You'll see the photos, so it should make sense to you. So now, if you need to, though, increase some more, if this isn't half of the front of your chest, you can just continue. Put this under your armpit, and then put this over the front of you. And you know what? Let me show you. You can kind of see my back here. I'm going to put this like this. Okay, so under this armpit, here, okay, and then, oh, sorry, across my front here, okay. Ew, okay, don't zoom in that close, gross. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to row 29. We are going to, for rows 29 through 39, or however long you need to make this, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn the work around, and now in every space, including this very first one here, we are going to just put 1 double crochet. Okay, and that's it. This 1 double crochet in each. So at the very end, you know, to increase, we've been putting 2 in that last one, but in this row now, we're not increasing anymore. So once you get to the increase that you need, we are going to just make the length longer. And to make the length longer, you can make it as long as you want. I will show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to pause here for a second, just double crochet in each of those spaces. I'm going to grab my back piece and show you how long you need to make this if yours is a different size. We're going to spread this out. Okay, so this is our back piece here. So this piece, we want this tip of this to just come about 2 inches down on this decrease. We decreased down here, okay? So we're just going to have this piece come just about a couple inches down on there, and then up this side. Okay, we're gonna seam this side up. So I need just a few more rows, okay, to get to the height that I need. Okay, so if you want it to come down a little more, you totally can, but just know that this seam, this is going to be seamed to here all the way up and then up here, so you can see how many rows then I have to do. I'm doing rows 29 to 39, and that will cover this section, and it will be straight on this side and straight on this side. And again, you can see the photos on the blog to determine where exactly I'm going to seam this if you want to jump ahead, or you can fast forward this video to see exactly too. So I'm just going to double crochet, 1 double crochet in each space across. You should continue to have the same amount of stitches that you do in that previous row where you ended the increase. Okay, so I should have 30 stitches on each row. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your work. Just make sure to count every row, and I'll just meet you up then when I finish row 39. Alright, so I'm not sure if you want to see this, but I'll show you anyway. I'm finishing row 29 here, so all we have to do in the last space, see on the previous row we put 2 in there, we're just going to put 1 in each of those spaces, just like that. And then just going on to row 30, we're going to chain up 3, turn the work around. Okay, you should have the same amount of stitches like I had said, and just put 1 double crochet in each space. Okay, then just put 1 double crochet in the very last space, no increasing, and then just go on to the next row. So I just wanted to clarify that. I wasn't sure if I made it clear or anything, so that's just how you do it. So now I'll meet you up when I finish the length of this, which should be to row 39 for me. Alright, so I just finished row 39 here. This is the length of the piece that is long enough for mine that I'm making. But if you need to continue on, you can make yours as long as you want. So now to fasten off, all we're going to do is chain 1, and we're going to cut the yarn really long for sewing, okay, because you have to sew down this whole side here. I don't know if you can see that. This whole side is going to be sewn down. So let's grab a ton of yarn here, probably too much there, but whatever. And then just pull it all the way through that chain 1 there. Just pull it and pull it. Okay. And then pull tight so that is secure. So now what I need you to do is just rewind this and make another one of these exactly like this one. So you have 2 of them. Let me grab this one here. There we go. So I have 2 of these made, okay? So what we're going to do, ooh, it's gonna look so cool. We're gonna seam it up right here, okay, where these 2 line up, okay? Then this will be the down in the front here, and this is the back piece. So, ooh, sorry, that was loud. I just hit the microphone. We're going to lay this on top of this, like this on this side, and then lay this one on top on this side. Okay, and then we're going to have this in the front. So if you have like a little bit of gapping, don't worry that you're going to fill it out like completely, so it's going to look good on you. So if you feel like it's a little too big, it's not going to be. And this piece is stretchy too, so it's really nice. So that is how it's going to look. That's kind of how we're going to, you know, sew it all together. So we're going to start off, I'll just show you, now just make another piece so you have two of those front pieces there. And then I'll just show you how to sew on one of these, and then I'll sew the other one on myself. So grab your yarn needle, and then that yarn that we cut here, and we're going to yarn our needle with that. Okay, now we're going to sew this together inside out. Okay, so pretend it's inside out right now. And we're going to line up the top rows. Okay, the very top. This is the top of your piece, and this is the down there where the points are and everything. That's where the bottom is. So what we're going to do is whip stitch this. You can mattress stitch this, but I'm going to just go in through this side and out through this side. And I'm just going to, it's going to be a lot of pulling, but once you get down to the bottom, it's going to be less and less pulling because your yarn will be used up. So we're just going to line this up and make sure just to go through a stitch and a stitch. Make sure you go through both layers and just go around and around. And whip stitching is always going through the same side. So you can see here I'm always coming back around through this side and then going up to this side. Okay, and then just pulling. And then coming back down and through the same side to the other side. Just make sure that your rows are all lined up and everything looks good, and just keep sewing this all the way down here, all the way down to here. So this will line up with this, and this is going to curve at this point and just be sewn to here like this. Okay, so that is going to curve just a tad. And then I am going to sew the other side exactly the same along this seam here, down here on this side. Okay, down there. Then when I have both of these all sewn on, we are going to meet up. I will show you how I'm going to sew these two pieces together. And then we still have to make the straps. We're going to single crochet around the whole thing to clean up these jaggedy edges here. And then we'll basically be done with our piece. Alright, so when you're finishing sewing up this side, just go through a couple of the loops, and we're going to fasten this off. So we're going to hold our finger in that loop and then come back through that loop just like that with your yarn and tie a knot. So pull that tight, remove your finger, and pull it tighter. And you can do that once or twice. I'm going to do it twice here, just like this. Okay, and then we're just going to sew in some ends, and then we just have to do that to the other side. So I have actually done it off camera on the other side. I just wanted to show you how to fasten this off. So we have both sides all sewn on. Okay, it's kind of like almost a tube top, not quite yet. Just trim any extra yarn that you have. We have to still close up the front here. So just here's what it looks like so far. This is inside out, by the way, so keep that in mind. We are sewing this inside out. So you can see here I sewed up this side and I sewed up this side off camera. So you'll have to sew up both sides there. Then once that is complete, it's still inside out, we are going to sew up these pieces in the center here. Now you can decide if you want that open, you can leave it open and just like lace it up with ribbon or something cute, you know, make it like a corset top. That's really pretty. You can do whatever you want. You can sew it up, you can put buttons, you can just put a button here or here, 2 buttons or whatever. But what I'm going to do is actually sew it closed, just because I want to, but you can do whatever your heart desires. So just like we did for the side seams, I'm just going to yarn my needle. We're going to line it up. I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of put the right sides together. Okay, so kind of put them up like this. Okay, and I'm just going to go through the top here. Okay, or yeah, the top of this shirt, and we're just going to whip stitch just like we did the sides. Okay, around and around. But I'm only going from here all the way down to right about here. Okay, and you can start to see that this starts to spread ways in its own direction there. So that's where I'm going to stop. Okay, so I'm just going to sew this up, and then I'll meet you up and we'll fasten this off, and then we'll go on. I think we have to just make this, oh, we have to crochet around this whole piece to clean up the edges, and then we also have to make the straps and a minor detail as well. So I'll meet you up when I am fastening this part off. Alright, I'm just fastening this off. Now I'm just going to fasten it off just like I showed you earlier. So very simple, just come right through that loop and tie a knot, and again. Okay, just like that. And then we're just going to sew in this end. So you can see I just ended at that at the part where it stopped, where it was just straight. Okay, because you can see there it is going in their own direction. So now I'm just gonna sew this up here and then cut that. But the other side, this side here, we have this still attached to the ball of yarn. So I'm gonna just trim that yarn, and then we're going to tie that off as well. Okay, so yarn your needle, and then just go underneath a few of the stitches. Keep your finger in there, come back through that loop, and pull tight. Oops, lost my yarn here. And then I'm just going to sew this end in real quick, and then we can go on right away to crochet around this whole piece. And then after we crochet around this whole piece, we are going to make the straps. So let's turn this right side out now. Flip it through. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so fabulous. Alright, so right now it kind of looks a little big on me for me, but it's not going to be extremely I mean, it is really stretchy too, but it's not going to be super stretchy on me. And the straps will hold it up too, so if you want more of a looser look. But this is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so that's what that looks like on the front. This is the front outside, okay? So now what we're going to do is crochet along this edge right here, all the way down around to this tip here, and then back up, okay? So actually I'm going to start at this bottom tip right here. Same hook and everything. We're just going to, you can see I'm working on the outside here, so I just flipped this up, so we're looking at the outside. Okay, this is the inside, this is the outside. We're looking at the outside here. We're going to attach our hook here and grab some yarn, same color. You can do a different color though if you want to, kind of add a little detail of a different color. That's up to you. But I'm going to use this same color here, hook it on and pull it through, and then just chain up one, and then single crochet in that same spot. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. Okay, now what we're going to do, I'm going to move this over here, there we go, we're going to just single crochet up this side here, okay, so basically wherever your hook fits is where you should single crochet, so just go in where it fits, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, okay, go where your hook fits, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through two, okay. And just go up this side all the way around, okay, like I showed you where exactly we're going to single crochet. So I'll make this single crochet here and I'll show you real quick. I'm going to pull up this loop here. So we're just going to single crochet up this edge right here, then come around here, okay, up this edge, okay, this is the top, this is the front of your shirt here. Then single crochet down this edge, okay, all the way down this edge, and then down the back again. This is the back piece, and to the point again. Okay, so all the way around the bottom basically of this piece, we are going to single crochet all around there. So I'm going to do that, And once I'm ready to fasten that part off, I will meet you up and then we'll go on to making those straps. Alright, when you come back around, just slip stitch to this first single crochet right here. So just go into there. Oops. If you can get in there, just go in, then yarn over, pull through, and we can fasten this part off. So let's chain 1, cut our yarn, and then pull that all the way through and pull it tight. Grab your yarn needle and just weave in that end right away. And then the next step is to make the straps. So what you'll have to do is measure from where you want this to lie on your body, and then measure around your shoulder. And I'll show you in just a second here. Let me cut this yarn. Okay, so here, this is going to be where your chest is, your bust area. So this is going to be under your armpit. So we're going to put a strap from here around your shoulder to here. Okay, and from here around your shoulder to here. So I measured mine, and I don't know if you want to take my headphones off here. You can see in the picture here my shoulder. So I measured from about right under my armpit. I guess I can't really reach back there, but right about here. Okay, don't zoom in that close. Okay, so you can see my shoulder. Okay, so right about there, and then up around my shoulder to the front right about here. Okay, so I measured that, and for me that came to be about 12 inches. Okay, but I didn't want to make my chain 12 inches. What I ended up doing, and I have a strap finished here. Okay, so my strap is about 9 inches, but look at this. When you wear this, the gravity is going to pull this weight down, and this is going to stretch on your shoulder. And look at how much that stretches. I mean, my goodness. So it is 12 inches long. Okay, I don't know if you can see that on the camera here, but it is 12 inches when it's stretched. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We are going to make a chain and then stretch it to be the length you need it to be. So you can chain whatever you need, okay? So I'll show you right away. I'm going to set all of this aside. Grab the same hook, same yarn, make a slip knot, okay? Insert your hook. And for me, that chain was, let me look at my notes here, 27 chains. So yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll just do it. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Okay, so that's pretty painless there. So what I ended up doing here is measuring this out, and then I pulled this really as far as I could, okay, and it came to be on my measurement. I know it's hard to see on camera, but when I'm laying this out and I'm putting it on my thing here, it comes to be about 12 inches. Maybe a little less, but when we add the stitches, they are going to, I know my hand is in the way, sorry, but it's a 12-inch chain there, okay? So that's how big, I mean, if yours is more or less, you'll just have to measure where you want this to lie on your body. You want to stretch that chain out as far as you can to make it be the length you need. So just do that. Once you have your chain done, we're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook and all the way across. So yarn over, okay, count 1, 2, 3, 4, this 4th chain here, and you know how I do, I turn the chain toward me and work in those back ridges, and you know how to do a double crochet already. We did them in basically this whole pattern. So I'm just going to double crochet across this chain. Okay, in the end of this chain I will only have 25 stitches, okay, because this chain up 3 at the beginning right here counts as a stitch. So I'm gonna have 25 stitches total, but you might have something different if your chain was different than mine. So just double crochet across here and I'll meet you up for row 2. Alright, just double crocheted across there, so as you can see, if you stretch it out, it stretches much bigger, and it's about the 12 inches now. So what we're going to do is chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's counting as our first stitch. And we are going to, let's see my other strap here, if I worked in the stitches. I think I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so we are going to, instead of working in this first stitch, because this chain up 3 counts as a stitch in there, we're going to work in this next stitch, and we're going to just yarn over, whoopsie, there we go, yarn over, go into that next stitch right there, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And just double crochet into each stitch. It's that simple. So I'm just going to double crochet across here, and then I'll meet you up when we fasten off. Alright, just double crocheting the last chain up 3 stitch there. Don't forget that. Make sure you have the same amount of stitches as your first row. So now we're just going to chain 1, and you want to cut your yarn kind of long for sewing, and then pull it all the way through, and then pull it tight. So there's one strap. So you just have to make one more. Okay, just like this, and make it the same. Okay, they are exactly the same. So now what we're going to do is sew them onto our shirt. Okay, so you can decide where you want it to be. You want it to be about the length, I guess between your shoulder blades would be where you want it to be. So mine's about 16 inches across, 15 or 16 inches across, so if you want to, you can measure that out. So, well, maybe it's about 14. Okay, so I'll go about right there. And you want the outside to be where that is. Okay, so I'm going to put it about right here. And we're going to sew it on the inside. Let me grab where my needle is. I always lose my stuff around here. There it is. Okay. So let me yarn the needle here. Okay. And there's right about here is where I want it to be. And I'm going to put it on the inside of the shirt. Okay. I'm going to flip this over so you can see what I'm doing. So I can see what I'm doing. And we're just going to go into the shirt and then back through. And kind of just whip stitch it. Okay, so in through here. Okay, we are going to go all the way around this area here. So you can kind of see I went down from this last row here. Okay, I went down to the base of it. So about a 1/2 inch in. And that should be good. Okay, now you can see here there's some space right here. So I want to cover that and make sure that this strap is fully secure. So I'm going to just go across the way, in and out. Just kind of weave it in and out. Okay, so when you lift that back up, then there's no space there. Okay, and if you want to, you can go back just to reinforce it. Okay, stretch it out. Make sure in the front it looks good. Looks good to me. Can't even tell that's being sewn on. That's awesome. Alright, then we are going to fasten this off. So go underneath a couple stitches. Okay, bring up that loop. Come back through the loop. I've shown this to you a million times already. And just pull tight. And you can do that twice or 3 times, up to you. And then just sew in this end underneath your stitches. Perfect. Then just cut any extra, stretch it out, make sure it looks good, flip it back over. It looks fabulous. Okay, now we are going to sew this to the other side. But since this straggler is kind of short, I'm just going to use some from the ball of yarn. But if your straggler is a little longer, you can use that. Just make sure it's opposite side, right about there. Okay. I'm going to grab some yarn from the ball of yarn. Yarn my needle. Okay. And again, just one row down. And we're just going to like weave this in and out. Just like this. and then up and around, and then just fasten off just like I showed you. So I'm just going to sew on the rest of this one, fasten it off, and then sew on my other one about 14 inches across the way. If you want to, you can try this on, mark your stitches if you need to, you know, take your time. I'm kind of going a little fast for the camera, but, you know, take your time, sew these on how you like and how long you need them to be. And once I am finished, I'll meet you up. I just want to add one more small detail to this shirt, and then we'll be done with this project. Alright, so I just sewed on this other strap here, as you can see. It looks lovely so far. So now also what I did off camera was add this little detail. So I'm going to add this detail to this side and show you how I did this. If you don't want to do it, you can be done with your shirt, and it's fabulous and it is lovely and you're gonna love it. But I just want to add a little bit of a detail, just these stitching here. Part of my Halloween costume is Zelda, and she has like, it looks like more like hieroglyphics on the edge of her shirt here, but I can't embroider hieroglyphics, so I'm not even gonna try. So I'm just gonna do these like little crisscross stitches just to give it a little detail. So I'll show you how to do that. Yarn your needle with some white yarn. I'm using the Red Heart Super Saver in white. You can use any white yarn, or even in the soft yarn you can use white, but or any color really. So what we're going to start out by doing is we're going to start out in this bottom here, and we're going to start from the inside, okay? And we're just going to pick a spot. So I'm just going to pick right about here, okay, further out, okay, and we're just going to take a bunch of yarn through, okay. Then we're going to come over to here and see this first space here to the edge. We are not going to work in there. Okay, we're going to work in the one before it, just like this. And then skip a row, okay, and come up through the next row about 4 in. 1, 2, 3, 4 in. Okay, and we're working between the posts here. And then just pull that yarn through all the way. Okay, just like that. Fabulous. Okay, so when we end, it's going to come through like this is going to be the crisscross. So now we're going to come through to the second one here. So skip this first hole and go into the second space right here. Skip a row and then go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here. And then just continue doing that up the side. So skip over to here, to the second one in, skip a row, and then go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're making one-sided tick marks first, so they're just slanted stitches like this, evenly all the way up, and then once I have done that all the way up, then I'll meet you up and I'll show you how to make the stitches go down so that we have crisscross X stitches. Alright, I'm just making my last one here, so we're gonna go in through here. When you're done making your stitches, actually we're gonna come through, I'm gonna go back in. I made this last line here. We want to end on the inside, so I'm going to actually end in here, right there, okay? And now what we're going to do is come over on the same row right here, just 2 over, or in the 4th one, which is over here. So we're going to come out through that hole, okay, just like that, and then come down. And wherever this one is now here, we're going to come just over 1 to here. Okay, so we've made a crisscross X stitch. Now we want to come over to the 4th one on this row here, where this one starts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So come out that 4th one, and then go back in to the one below it, where this one is going in, 1 over. So looking at the outside here, there's 1, there's the second hole there. And just pull that through. So we made another X, okay? So now we're just going to do that all the way down. So come down from the inside here to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this 4th hole here, and then down 1 row below it to the second, into the second hole there. Okay, so 4th one right here, oopsie, and then second one beneath it. Okay, so we're just going back down, making these X stitches. Looks fabulous. Okay, so I'm going to do that all the way down on this side, and you can do it on both sides. When I'm ready to fasten this off, then I'll meet you up and we can fasten this off and weave in our ends and be done with this shirt. Alright, when you're finishing, you want to end on the inside here and pull that through, and then I'm going to turn this over so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to tie these two ends in a knot. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this a little shorter, grab my yarn needle, and then we just want to sew in these ends here, and then we're done. So this top for Zelda is complete. Make sure to check out the blog and the photos of me and Nate for our Halloween costumes. We just had so much fun dressing up and going to the party in this costume. It was a lot of fun. So big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn for all of these projects for these costumes. Big thank you to my dad for filming and editing and doing the photography for this cosplay costume. This was so much fun, you guys. Oh my gosh. So, and big thank you to you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you make this shirt, be sure to share your photos on Facebook, Instagram, #YARNutopia so I can see your work, and Snapchat me too. I'm YARNutopia on Snapchat, so make sure you snap me your Halloween costumes this year. So have a great one, be safe, and eat lots of candy, and enjoy yourselves. Happy hooking!